I just watched a very profound little clip on I know that happens way more than what we think, even in the body of Christ. I'm going to go as far as to say that. So the woman in the beginning of the clip goes, pay attention to, no, she goes, what you're about to see is something very deceiving. Da, 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 da. And she goes, pay attention to what he says, and da, 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 da. So then when he starts talking, the clip to where he's talking, he talks about how his childhood was not the greatest, and then obviously now he was called to, or whatever, to become a motivational speaker, and he helps lots of people. And then she comes back on and she goes, now, I want to let you know what you just watched. The man actually went home that night, took a gun, killed his wife, and da-da-da-da-da. She was like, now rewatch this clip and see a new perspective on what you see in this man, da-da-da-da, right? So then the clip comes back on. He says the same thing. And then you're like, you look at this guy as a killer, right? And then she comes back on and she goes, psych, I fooled you. He's really my friend and this was all script. She said, this happens more than what you even could imagine. And it's everywheres. And so the clip finished, right? I'm not going to show it because they're like, I don't think they're Christians. But that's not why I'm not going to show you because of that. But the message behind it literally even happens. I've watched it. I've even went to the Lord about this before, and I said, Father, I know you just saw what I just saw. And he said, yes. And this happens everywhere, even in the body of Christ. And it is a form of witchcraft. It's a form of other spirits, not of the Lord, right? Many people do this either to try to gain popularity or vainglory, make the other person look bad. You know, it's defamation to one's character. I'm not going to go on, but it's just really like God sees what people do. He doesn't sleep. And I think sometimes people fail to realize that. And so, you know, the past, I want to say about, because I haven't really been on YouTube much. I just got back on. So, but I had noticed this even years ago being on YouTube. I'm just like, wow. You know, and you can see that in this, you know, thus, you know, the people that come on, thus saith the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Those people do it. You know, the news channels do it. It's all over the place. It's like a form of witchcraft. So I just want to bring this out because not to like open up a can of worms, but just so that you could be aware that not everything that you see is actually being portrayed that way. And it's all over the place because we live, I mean, you know, the internet is wide open to everything. And so the internet could be used for the good, but the internet is also being used for the bad. And so even like the, you know, the scare tactics, you just don't even know what you're watching anymore. This is happening right now, and it could not be happening. Maybe it happened, but it's not how the person is saying that it happened. And on and on and on. And so that's why it's really just important to get with the Lord. You know, if you have a question about what you've watched or whatever, you know, I mean, it's it's unfortunate and it's sad, but God knows what's going on, and He is our avenger. We don't have to go around throwing bows at people. God takes care of it. Not that He's not throwing bows, but He takes care of everything, right? And a lot of the times when people do hurtful things or they do these wicked things or whatever, it's because they're really hurt inside. It's because they are running off on fear, and they're running off on condemnation in themselves. They don't like themselves. And it's really like it's one of those things where the Lord had to show me, don't take these things personal, because it's not about you. The person's going through this thing. Not that He tells you, but pray for them. That's all we could do, is just pray for them. And again, the boundaries is so important. You don't have to have everybody in your life. However, boundaries, you can have boundaries with people in your life too, So ultimately, pray for them, because, a lot of people, and including me, I've always been this way. I literally can go into a room and observe what's going on around me. I can literally see, wow, that person's doing some, performing that way. Why? Well, because of insecurity. I can literally see it. And I'm not saying this to boast myself, because a lot of, obviously I still have X, Y, and Z that the Lord needs to work in me. However, I can see these things. I've always been able to see and observe my surroundings. I'm not so much book smart, but I am very street smart. I can discern from afar. And so anyway, I just wanted to bring that out, because I know that they were talking about like the news, then like be aware like what you're watching on the news, because that's pretty much 95% of the news does that. But I'm saying, like, I've even seen this in the body of Christ, and it's a type of witchcraft. It really is. It's a type of, it's flesh, it's insecurities, it's condemnation, it's, you're you're slashing and bashing on someone's character, and you're putting them down, and you're really killing them without even acknowledging it, because of your own hurts, your own pains, your own whatever you're going through. That's not an excuse to do that to people. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just felt so strongly to make this on Mother's Day, actually. Happy Mother's Day to every mother and every man who had to take the place of a mother, who takes care of their children alone, who raises them alone, who just happy Mother's Day every day, right? So I hope you have a beautiful one. It is hot over here, but I'm going to try to get up and do some things today. So anyway, just want to bring that out.